Behind every glance, how Dylan Wang and Shen Yue fell in love off-screen. When Dylan Wang first appeared alongside Shen Yue years ago, something in the air changed. Their chemistry wasn't just visible, it was electric, undeniable, almost spiritual. They didn't just act, they connected in ways that blurred the line between performance and emotion. Fans could sense it immediately. Every look, every pause, every playful moment between them carried the weight of something unscripted. People around the world replayed their scenes again and again, dissecting every frame. Why did he look at her that way? Why did her laughter seem so real? Soon, the line between fiction and life began to fade. It wasn't just about the characters anymore. It was about Dylan and Shen themselves, two souls caught in a story that refused to end when the director yelled cut. And that's how it began, an emotional mystery that haunted millions for years. Every public event, every photo, every fleeting online post became a battlefield of theories. Fans turned detectives, collecting clues like pieces of an unsolved romance. A shared bracelet here, a similar caption there. Nothing escaped notice. People wrote entire threads on Weibo analyzing whether they were secretly together. Some believed wholeheartedly, others called it fan delusion. But deep down, everyone wanted it to be true. There was something too natural about their bond to dismiss as coincidence. Even when they appeared with other co-stars, the energy was never quite the same. And yet, neither Dylan nor Shen Yue ever broke their silence. That silence became the loudest noise, the sound of something quietly growing behind closed doors. For years, the public played the waiting game, balancing between hope and heartbreak.
No confirmation.
No denial. Just quiet glances that spoke more than words ever could. Behind the flash of fame, something intimate was happening, something fragile and human. During a collaboration earlier this year, Dylan and Shen found themselves together again. Cameras rolled, but between takes, their laughter felt softer, more personal. A witness once described them as comfortable in silence. They didn't need to talk, their eyes did the speaking. What started as familiarity turned into recognition, that realization that after all this time, the spark had never really gone away. They shared lunches, inside jokes, and quiet moments no lens could capture. Those who worked around them said there was a different kind of warmth this time, one that didn't belong to any script. And as fate would have it, that warmth carried them to the fan meet in Shanghai, the moment that would change everything. No PR team could have planned it. No media outlet could have predicted it. The Shanghai event was meant to be just another promotional appearance. Fans cheered, lights flashed, questions flowed. Then, in a single heartbeat, time froze. Dylan turned to Shen Yue. He reached out his hand. The room fell silent. It wasn't part of the show. And then, softly but firmly, he said, "It's time we stop pretending. I want everyone to know she's the one."
The words struck like lightning. For a split second, no one breathed.
Then chaos, screams, gasps, applause, tears. Shen Yue's eyes glistened as she covered her face, trying to hold back emotion. When she finally looked up, she whispered, trembling, "Yes, it's true." That wasn't acting. That was surrender. Two people, standing under blinding lights, finally admitting what the world had long suspected. And in that instant, fiction gave way to truth, pure, unscripted, breathtaking truth. Hollywood and C Entertainment are filled with staged relationships, PR pairings, marketing gimmicks, calculated timing. But this wasn't that. There were no rehearsals, no glossy press photos.
Dylans voice cracked with emotion.
Shen Yue's hands shook. Their humanity shone through every trembling gesture. This was what made the confession powerful, its imperfection. Love, in its realest form, is never polished. It's messy, unpredictable, vulnerable. The sincerity in their eyes couldn't be manufactured. When Dylan wiped a tear from her cheek, it wasn't for the audience, it was instinct. Fans recognized it immediately. That wasn't acting, one viewer posted online. That was love finally finding its voice. And perhaps that's why it hit so deep, because for once, we weren't watching celebrities performing. We were witnessing people being painfully, beautifully human. Within minutes, the internet exploded into chaos. Hashtags surged to the top of Weibo and Twitter. Millions of fans around the world flooded timelines with old videos and emotional tributes. People cried while watching fan edits, claiming, "Now every moment feels different." News agencies rushed to confirm, but no one needed proof anymore. The proof was right there in their eyes. Some fans said they screamed so loud their neighbors knocked. Others quietly wept, typing messages like, "I waited 5 years for this moment." But beyond the excitement, there was something deeper happening. The world wasn't just celebrating a couple. They were celebrating hope. In an age where relationships crumble under fame, this one stood as proof that love could survive fame, distance, and silence. Dylan and Shen Yue gave fans something they didn't even know they needed: belief in real connection. When official statements followed that evening, they were short, heartfelt, and unpretentious. Both stars thanked their fans for years of support and asked for understanding. No spin. No headlines crafted for attention. Just raw gratitude. That's what made the confession so powerful. It wasn't a PR stunt designed to boost popularity. It was a choice to stop hiding, a gift of authenticity in a world obsessed with image. They didn't need elaborate words. Their silence before had already told the story. Their confession only completed it. As one fan beautifully wrote, "They didn't need to say it. We just needed to hear them stop pretending." That line perfectly captured the heart of the moment. Not about drama or exposure, but liberation. The truth about Dylan and Shen Yue's connection lies in what you can't script. Watch them laugh. There's no hesitation. Observe how they listen to each other. Fully, attentively. Their energy feels effortless, like gravity pulling two stars into the same orbit. That's the magic fans fell for. Their chemistry wasn't just romantic, it was cosmic. They understood each other's pauses, reacted to subtle shifts in tone, shared comfort in silence. Off-screen, those same qualities became their emotional foundation. It's why fans never stopped believing. You can fake attraction.
You can rehearse Affektion.
But you can't counterfeit soul-deep familiarity, that quiet knowing when two people just fit. That's what Dylan and Shen Yue embody. A rare, once-in-a-generation connection that transcends character and circumstance. In the entertainment industry, honesty can be revolutionary. Celebrities are often told to protect their image, to mask emotion with professionalism. Yet here were two stars saying, "This is who we are." That bravery resonated beyond fan circles. Their confession became a symbol of authenticity in a generation that values vulnerability over perfection. It told fans, and perhaps the world, that love doesn't need permission. It simply needs courage. Across Asia and beyond, headlines described it as a modern fairy tale. But it wasn't fantasy. It was real, messy, tender, imperfect love. A reminder that even behind fame, humans still long to be seen and accepted. Dylan and Shen Yue didn't just change their narrative. They reminded everyone what it means to be honest, and how freeing that honesty can be.
Now, the worldwide.
Will Dylan and Shen Yue share more about their journey? Will they protect their love fiercely, or allow fans glimpses into their new chapter? Many believe their decision to reveal their relationship will open new doors, perhaps collaborations filled with real chemistry, or quieter lives shielded from constant scrutiny. But regardless of what's next, one thing is certain: they've changed how the public views celebrity romance forever. Their story isn't about publicity. It's about reclaiming narrative power. By stepping into truth, they taught millions that love can still be sacred, even in the most public of worlds. When the lights dimmed after the Shanghai confession, one truth remained: real love still wins. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue didn't just confirm a relationship, they redefined authenticity in the entertainment world. Their courage to embrace vulnerability, to share their hearts publicly, transformed them from actors into symbols of emotional truth. For fans, this story wasn't just gossip. It was a collective moment of release, proof that sometimes the fairy tale doesn't end when the camera cuts. It continues quietly, bravely, behind the scenes until one day, it bursts into the light. And maybe that's why millions can't stop replaying that moment. Not because it was glamorous, but because it was real.